The various types of roses are, by far the most popular flowering shrub, for landscaping. The Rosa genus includes, more than 300 species of woody flowering perennials, and there are several thousand rose types, that have been cultivated within those species. While there are native roses found, on nearly every continent, most landscape types of roses are multi-generational hybrid cultivars, for which the original species ancestors, have long since been forgotten. When you buy a modern rose variety, it is almost always sold by a unique cultivar name, rather than by a species name. There are many characteristics to consider when choosing the best rose for your landscape or garden. There is color, of course, but also fragrance, plant form, hardiness zones, disease resistance, and more. Rosa grandiflora about face. This orange grandiflora rose has bicolored petals with long stems and rich green leaves. This rose's lighter color of deep golden yellow is carried on the inside of the petals, with a darker bronzy orange-red backside. This is a good disease-resistant rose with a fragrance that is said to smell like fresh apples. Blooms can be as much as 5 inches across. The plant has a good rebloom pattern. USDA growing zones, 6 to 11. Height, 5 to 6 feet. Sun exposure, full sun. Rosa bonica. Bonica is a shrub rose that bears light pink flowers on a plant with the typical bushy growth habit. It flowers repeatedly from spring to fall, with fragrant blooms that are 2 to 3 inches across. This is a very dependable plant in cooler climates. USDA growing zones, 4 to 11. Height, 3 to 5 feet. Sun exposure, full sun. Rosa floribunda cherry parfait. Cherry parfait is a floribunda rose that has a two-tone petal color scheme with white petals edged with red. It has dark green leaves. This rose has a relatively bushy habit. The blooms are 2 to 3 inches across. USDA growing zones, 6 to 11. Height, 3 to 4 feet. Sun exposure, full sun. Rosa teasing Georgia. Teasing Georgia is a David Austin shrub rose, advertised as yellow but can end up looking more apricot in color. It is a repeat bloomer with small clusters of large cupped flowers that stretch 4 to 5 inches across. It has good resistance to disease and a strong fragrance. USDA growing zones, 5 to 11. Height, 4 to 5 feet. Sun exposure, full sun. Rosa floribunda easy desert. This medium-sized floribunda rose has large 4 to 5 inch blooms that blend orange, pink, and apricot hues. The flowers are double, ruffled petals, and they have a mildly fruity aroma. This plant has a bushy growth habit and is fairly disease-resistant. USDA growing zones, 6 to 11. Height, 3 to 5 feet. Sun exposure, full sun. Rosa Falstaff. Falstaff is a David Austin English shrub rose featuring large 4 to 5 inch dark crimson red flowers that bloom continually. It is regarded as one of David Austin's best rose types. It has the typical strong fragrance of an English shrub rose and a good rebloom cycle. USDA growing zones, 5 to 11. Height, 4 feet. Sun exposure, full sun. Rosa hybrid tea Tahitian sunset. Tahitian sunset is a hybrid tea rose with magnificent apricot pink bicolor flowers that are up to 6 inches across and bear a faint anise smell. It is a good disease-resistant hybrid, with semi-glossy, dark green leaves. And it blooms repeatedly from spring to fall. USDA growing zones, 6 to 11. Height, 5 to 6 feet. Sun exposure, full sun. Rosa rainbow knockout. Rainbow knockout is a shrub rose with the classic single flowers that are common to species shrub types of roses. Unlike many shrub roses, it has an excellent rebloom cycle. The flowers, which appear in clusters, are coral with yellow centers. The foliage is dark green and semi-glossy. Rainbow knockout has the typical hardiness of species shrub roses. It is fully resistant to black spot, powdery mildew, and rust. 1. USDA growing zones, 4 to 9. Height, 3 to 4 feet. Sun exposure, full sun. Rosa floribunda Julia Child. The Julia Child rose was personally chosen by the award-winning chef with coloration she described as buttergold. It has very shiny leaves, with full flowers up to 3.5 inches across, smelling of sweet licorice. It is a disease-resistant shrub with full, bushy growth habit. The flowers appear in small clusters. The plant has a good rebloom pattern. USDA growing zones, 6 to 11. Height, 2 to 3 feet. Sun exposure, full sun. Rosa floribunda Mardi Gras. The Mardi Gras multicolor floribunda rose has a festive coloring that is a mix of orange and pink with a bit of yellow. The bloom begins as an apricot orange bud that slowly spirals open to reveal a 2 to 3 inch bright pink and orange bloom with a yellow base. This disease-resistant rose has dark green leaves and a peppery fragrance. It has a bushy growth habit that can work well for hedges. USDA growing zones, 5 to 9. Height, 3 to 4 feet. Sun exposure, full sun. Rosa floribunda Morden Fireglow. This floribunda rose has blooms falling somewhere between orange and reddish in color. It has double, cupped flowers and matte, non-glossy, leaves. This rose type has good cold hardiness and a mild fragrance. It makes for good cut flowers. USDA growing zones, 2 to 9. Height, 2 to 4 feet. Sun exposure, full sun. Rosa Pat Austin. The copper Pat Austin is one of the David Austin types of roses. It is named after David Austin's wife. The double-cupped flowers stretch 4 to 5 inches across and have a tea-like scent. USDA growing zones, 5 to 11. Height, 4 to 5 feet. Sun exposure, full sun. Rosa grandiflora Wild Blue Yonder. Wild Blue Yonder is a grandiflora rose that starts out as a mauve or reddish purple and ends up with a deeper color. It never morphs into a true blue rose. It is a repeat bloomer with medium-sized flowers that appear in large clusters. The fragrance is quite strong with a hint of citrus. USDA growing zones, 5 to 9. Height, 3 to 5 feet. Sun exposure, full sun. Rosa Hybrid TL. L is a good choice for those seeking a happy medium between a shocking pink rose and a pink rose with washed out color. It is relatively compact for its class. This hybrid tea rose is ever blooming with very large flowers with a strong fragrance. The rose will have a scent of citrus and spice when in full bloom. USDA growing zones, 7 to 9. Height, 3 to 5 feet. Sun exposure, full sun. Rosa floribunda Frankly Scarlet. Frankly Scarlet is one of the rose types belonging to the JP Ultimate Collection. It is a repeat bloomer with dark green leaves. This is a fairly short floribunda rose bush with 2 to 3 inch flowers that have a pleasant, spicy fragrance. USDA growing zones, 5 to 9. Height, 2 to 3 feet. Sun exposure, full sun. We made extra efforts to produce such kind of informative videos. If you feel that this video gives you some kind of valuable information, then like and subscribe this channel. Share this video with your family and friends. Hit the bell icon so that you will not miss any such kind of informative